Hey guys, today we're talking about construction loans and what that looks like. There are two major differences between your different types of construction loans. The first one is going to be the mass production builder. Those are going to be your developers that are building the big housing communities that you see out in like Douglas County or up north. The second one is a custom home build. And that is where it's a one-off, the individual homeowner, landowner designs and builds their home based on their specific specifications. Now, on a mass production builder, generally the builder covers all of the construction costs from start to finish. You can customize some of the pieces in the home as far as picking colors or tile or flooring or whatever, but for the most part, the builder is going to cover all of those costs. When the buyer buys the house, they just get one loan at the end of the construction period is when they actually buy the house and obtain their loan. This is the most common type of construction loan or construction build that's out there right now. On the custom side, the buyer obtains a construction specific loan and they pay for all of the items during the construction process. So their loan actually pays the constructor or the contractors as the house is getting built. So they're taking out their loan before the house is done. This one is not as common, but again, is more for a custom type of build. Once the construction is done, then the loan is going to switch to a more traditional regular mortgage. And they would either do that by refinancing the property into a regular mortgage or depending on the type of loan, it might automatically switch over once it's all done. There are a couple of things that you need to know. I'm going to talk more specifically for your mass production builders. Those are going to be your housing communities that we see popping up everywhere. They're very, very popular right now. They're a great way to get into a home. It's a new home, so you're the first person to ever live there. There's a lot of really fun things about that. But there are also some things that you need to know before you commit to that type of property. The first one and the most important one is going to be that the contracts, the purchase contracts and the loan contracts through these builders, preferred borrowers or whatever, are specific to that builder. They are not the state of Colorado contracts that you would normally see on a pre-built house, on an older house that's already done. They are specific to that builder. They are going to protect themselves in that contract. So there can be some risk involved when you're financing through their preferred lender because the terms may not always favor you as the consumer. They're going to favor the builder and protect the builder's interests. One of the things that you need to know is if you are buying in those areas, you have to have a real estate agent from the beginning before you ever step foot into one of their models. The reason being, obviously, real estate agents are, if they're representing you, they have a fiduciary duty to protect you as the buyer. So they're going to look out for your best interests, where the builder, again, is going to look out for their own best interests. They know how to read the contracts, so they can make sure that the contract is still, favorable enough in your situation that it's not going to hurt you or damage you down the road. They can provide that guidance. The builder can eliminate your ability to hire a realtor if you visit the property before without having them come along with you. That's a huge thing. They have in their little, sign-in sheet when you go to the model, most of them will ask, are you being represented by a real estate agent? And if you check no, but then decide later on that you want to get a real estate agent and buy in that development, they may not allow you to even get a real estate agent. And if the real estate agent's not going to get paid on the deal, then, unless they're a real close family friend or something like that, they're probably not going to be willing to really help you out too much. So make sure that you get a representation, your own representation from the beginning. Most of these builders have preferred lenders. And there can be some, 99% of them have their own preferred lenders. And there can be some advantages to that. A lot of times they'll offer, some type of discount on the fees or discount on the closing costs. They may offer you, money toward upgrades or free upgrades. Finger quotes around that free upgrades for the house. So you can get, better flooring or better painting or carpet or whatever it is. So there are some advantages of that. They may require you, no matter what you do, to get pre-approved through their lender. So even if you say have me representing you as your lender, they may still require you to get pre-approved through their own lender, which is totally fine, and I can walk you through the process on that. That's not a big deal. Again, a lot of times for those incentives, the free, kitchen upgrade or whatever, they won't give that to you unless you go through their preferred lender. So there are, again, some positives and negatives. Negatives being that, again, they are not going to look out for your best interest. They're going to protect their own interests. So a lot of times, their rates might be a little bit higher than what we can offer. Their fees might be a little bit higher, even though it looks like you're getting some of this free stuff. So make sure that you still shop around and get a second opinion on the rates and what's available to you, even if it looks really attractive, because there's, we all know free isn't really free. Somebody is paying for it. Sometimes the incentives are really good. Sometimes they're really not all that great. I've seen several situations where, they were going to go with the builder's financing. I took a look at everything, plugged it into my total cost analysis, compared it to what I could do for them. And my deal overall was actually better. Even though I wasn't necessarily able to offer them anything for free, my fees were less, my rate was better. And overall, even with the incentive from the builder, they were going to save money and be in a better position by doing the loan through me. Again, not always the case, but you definitely should seek a second opinion on that all the time. Build time. So generally speaking, when you're buying these new construction properties, depending on where you buy in the process, a lot of times you're buying your plot, your land first, or you're committing to the land first, and then they have to build the house, and that can take 6 or more months. So just keep that in mind if you're shopping for these new construction properties, that you might not be able to move into it right away. It could be 6, 8, 9 months, depending on, it could be even longer right now because of the lumber shortage. But there are situations that can play in that can delay your being able to move into your new home. So keep that in mind. Because of the time frame, often when you buy these properties, you're going to have a credit check at the beginning of the process to make sure that you can buy. So they're going to pre-qualify you. But then toward the end of that process, they're going to run credit again to make sure that you still qualify. And because that can take so long, you really have to be careful about what you're doing with your credit and how. So, you might want to, let's say you need to get a new car. Well, if you're in the middle of a build process and you're going to need a new car loan, you might have to, try going out without a car until that check is done, because once you add that car payment in, that could, change your qualification, your debt to income ratios could get messed up, all kinds of different things, and it could really affect your ability to finish your purchase on that house. So keep that in mind. That time frame means 1 or 2 or more credit pulls during that time period, and you're going to have to really be diligent about making sure you don't mess that part up. Appraisals will also happen in a couple of different stages. Usually what happens is it's done at least twice. It'll be done before the house is finished, but after they've got walls up, right? So they've got, your foundation laid, the studs are up, walls are up, roof is on, but they haven't painted, they haven't done flooring, maybe things like that. So they're gonna have one appraisal there that you have to pay for. And then they're gonna have another appraisal before you can close on the loan and actually move in. They'll have another appraisal that you have to pay for at the end of the construction, when it's all done, all finished, ready to move into. And then the house has to appraise in both scenarios for the right amount. So there is a little bit of risk there, and again, an additional cost to that as well. So these are a couple of things to look out for with new build contracts. You don't need to be scared of them, but you definitely should seek out a third party's opinion, whether it's through me, through your lender, or through a real estate agent. You really need to make sure that you have protection and somebody looking out for your best interests, because these builders are not. They're looking out for their own best interests. And their contracts can sometimes be a little bit sketchy and really limit your ability to either refinance down the road, sell the property, all kinds of different things. So check that out. Make sure you get some information. Reach out to me. I'm more than happy to discuss your options with you. We can lend in that field. I can do new construction loans for those types of properties. So let's take a look at your options and make sure that you are making the best decision for you and your family. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next.